Why does escaping synthetic fabrics almost feel impossible now? Welcome or welcome back. My name is Jada if you're new here, and today I want to talk about why new fashion sucks now. So first we have our fast fashion giants. And obviously this is not all of them, but these are the most talked about when this topic comes up. Now that we know who the giants are, let's talk about why these companies have been so profitable for so long, starting with synthetic fabrics. We all know that the most popular synthetic fabric is polyester, nylon, and spandex, but there's also rayon, microfiber, fleece, acetate. So now we know the giants, we know that they're profitable, and we know that they use these fabrics most commonly. So synthetic fibers that are made into fabric is cheaper to produce than obviously natural fiber. And you think about a huge company like H&M or Shein producing this at a mass level, it's cost effective for them, cheaper to make, cheaper to produce. But now I feel like we should question, okay, why is it so cheap? What is it made of? To sum it up, the fabrics that I just showed you, those are synthetic fibers derived from petroleum oil that is then used to make plastic, then to make those synthetic fibers. So now we know why synthetic fabric is being sold to us at a mass level, why it's so cheap, what it's made of. But now I want to talk about what I find so interesting about this buy process. So say I were to walk into an H&M and buy a sweater, okay? Cozy sweater, looks cute, fashionable, I can style it, whatever. I look at the tag and it says that it's made from maybe 80% polyester, 20% cotton, but obviously at this point, the cotton isn't really hitting a dent and how much polyester is in this fabric, this sweater. Cool, so I buy the sweater, I wear it, I style it. Now it's time for it to hit the wash for the first time.
Scientists have found this in almost every part of your body.
What are called microplastics.
Microplastics.
Dangerous microplastics.
Those are microplastics, minuscule particles found in the gut, the blood, and the brain. And even if you think you've cut out single-use plastics from your life, scientists say you're probably still contributing because of one everyday task. Laundry. Each time you wash clothes made of plastic fibers like polyester or spandex, tiny pieces shed into the water system.
I just washed the sweater in a wash cycle along with other polyester made clothing, and it's already doing this to this one wash cycle. So now I'm starting to think about the cost of the sweater, right? Not to mention it's shrinked a little bit, it's not holding up its original shape, and it's also shedding. But let's pause at the environmental cost of this sweater. Let's ask ourselves, why would H&M sell me such a bad sweater? Because the clothing is being made in developing countries that don't have laws that protect employers or employees. Employers. So now not only are they being paid a very low wage, slave labor, probably very unsafe working conditions that we couldn't probably fathom, and also on top of that, they're being dumped our waste, our clothing. So the clothing that they make and get sent over to us and we wear it and we take a picture with it and we style it, whatever. We have the privilege, unfortunately, to decide, if I don't like this skirt, I don't want this skirt anymore. And even if you do decide to donate your clothing, even they can't handle how many clothes are being donated a year, that it also ends up in a landfill. What's so ironic about this whole entire buy process is that this person in this developing country is making this sweater, right, at an alarming rate. I remember, I'm not sure if I still have this video up, I should, but when I realized that, when I first started buying fast fashion and I realized people, like human beings with their own hands were making these clothing, like I was literally staring at my Shein order like years and years ago going, someone made this with their hands, like obviously with a sewing machine, but like this was like real labor. I thought that we were advanced to where machines were just making it. And that's why I was like, oh, you know, maybe it's not too bad. But when I learned that human beings were making all these clothing pieces and so fast, that was alarming. And that was like the first process or first awakening to just how cruel fashion can be, you know? Back to the buy process. What's so ironic about this is that this person in this developing country making this piece of clothing for a very, very low wage in a country where there's also no laws to protect them, makes the sweater, sends it over, I wear it, I style it, whatever. I have the privilege to decide I don't want it, throw it back, and guess what? The same countries where they're probably making these clothing, they're also being dumped on top of that. So not only are they working their fingers at an alarming rate, they're also seeing like, oh my God, like I just made that sweater with my bare hands for this amount and now it's just in a landfill. Also, This is so crazy to me. Someone did a review on the Buy Now documentary and said that they were burying the clothes under the ground. Like, that's what they're doing with our waste. Again, we have the privilege to decide that something doesn't look cute on us anymore, it doesn't work for us anymore, and we get to just get rid of it in a way that inconsiderate to who's being harmed by that decision, right? Enjoy your things, buy what you want. I am no way trying to tell you don't buy ever again, but like, when you think about it, and I think I mentioned this in my other video, but everything is really tied to social belonging. And when you tap out of that and you free yourself from this need or the desire to belong without already knowing that because of who you are, like, you fit into somewhere because of who you are, not what you own or what you wear, because of how you think, but because of how you see the world, what you're interested in. There's not a costume for who you are. I definitely understand, like, what you wear does help you signal to other people, like, okay, especially if you do, because everyone wants to belong. I want to belong. Like, I'm not saying that that's inherently bad, but at what cost? You know what I mean? So I think it's important to, it's all about honestly confidence. Like, everything leads to you either going to stand firm on what you believe because you're confident and you know that you'll get what you want, or you'll have to play the fool and buy the things and do all the things and pull all the tricks to get what you want. Like, you'd rather just be authentic and stand in your own ground and your own power and know that you don't need junk to attract someone, because if they're for you, they'll be for you. And I know that sounds crazy to say because we're talking about fast fashion and clothing, but I promise you it's all connected. Like, it is. And this entire buy cycle just leads back to corporate greed. What I want to say that I hope is empowering to you is that, for one, we know that they're not going to stop. The most powerful figures and companies are just greedy. They want more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And they don't care about anything else because the people at the bottom will always suffer for what should have been their consequence. So knowing that they're not going to change anytime soon, I think it's empowering to know that we can decide at any moment, like, I don't really need Shein or Zara or Aritzia or Aloe or whoever else is in the game right now. Like, I don't really need that. Obviously, fashion is more than just trying to signal to people that you belong to a certain social group. When I dress to express myself. Like, having that type of autonomy over my self-expression feels very freeing. So I'm not going to reduce shopping and fashion to just wanting to belong, because there are people out there, obviously, that dress for themselves, and more power to you. But I'm just saying, like, at any moment you can decide, I really don't want to buy into this fast fashion monster, because one day, well, it is exploding, but one day it's going to explode in our face in a way that we could never imagine. Also, do your research on greenwashing companies, because I was naive before, and I probably will be again, about something that I didn't know about. Use your discernment, as you would with anything. It's important to use your discernment when it comes to companies trying to get you to buy their clothing. With that being said, this is the end of this video. I really hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.